And good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is Wednesday night here, August the 8th. Is it the 8th? Yes, it is, or no, it's the 6th. Well, I'm trying to get the week over with early. August the 6th. Welcome to the Weather Show at 9. I'm watching your comments and questions there on the 14 News Facebook page. So if you have any, you can put them on there and we'll check those out about halfway through the show. Well, you know, it's been one of those weeks. There just isn't a lot you can say about the weather other than sunny, hot, humid. And looking ahead, that's exactly what we're going to get. Summer heat and humidity are combining again. They'll be with us through the week, and we will stay hot all the way into much of next week. Wouldn't surprise me if we hit 90 every day in the next 7. Fog in the morning is a possibility, but not as much as it was today. There might be just a few little patches out there. Really will depend on topography and if you had rain or not. If the ground's damp enough, you could see some of that fog out there first thing in the morning. The dew point is another proxy for that, and right now our dew point's actually at 70. That's kind of juicy, but with a cooler temperature like this, it doesn't drive that feels like temp into the triple digits. So it's not awful, but it will. There'll be dew on the ground in the morning. Plenty of that out there too, and maybe a little patchy fog. Look at this. The next 7 days, we flatline. I mean, there's no change to the weather. The only ripple here, the only fly in the ointment might be some scattered showers on Tuesday and Wednesday, but even that's always a little dodgy, especially that many days out this time of the year. Our radar is clear. We have nothing going on. That's actually from yesterday. We were looking at a thunderstorm in Gallatin County, but don't have anything to show you there today. Let's look at the hour by hour. It's essentially dry and quiet all the way through the start of the weekend. So nothing going on. We use the GFS model to kind of give us an idea for overall rain potential over the next 7 days. And we could get a little wetter next week. That's a encouraging sign when it's more than, say, 2 or 3 tenths. But again, we will have to kind of reserve judgment here and see if that rain actually gets down here. Really hot out in the desert tonight, 113 in Phoenix. They set a record today of 115, and Vegas there at 103. We still have wildfire smoke coming in from the California and Nevada fires. Here in the Midwest, that high pressure kind of locking in temperatures in the mid-80s right now and upper 70s. That's where we are here in the tri-state. So it did pull back a little bit from our high temp today of 90 degrees. And, you know, we should be at 90 degrees, and we actually had temps pretty much on the money with normal. 68's a typical low. We dropped down to 67. For the month now, we have our first 90-degree day here after a nice interlude there of non-90-degree temps. No rain fell at the Evansville Airport today. We don't exactly need rain just yet. However, with these temperatures in the 90s, if we go a week or more without rain, we'll start to see some of the effects of that. The grass will start to brown a little bit. You'll need to water more if you're not doing that already. So looking ahead to tomorrow, we have temperatures returning to around 90 degrees. And look at that. We had a big squall line going across Iowa yesterday. Or actually, this is early, last night. And it pretty much fizzled out, and it has no bearing now on our weather whatsoever. And that's kind of how it's going to be going into the next couple of days. You're going to see some scattered showers and storms maybe up across northern Illinois and Indiana. But here in the tri-state, we're kind of in the sweet spot right now where we're not expecting any showers or thunderstorms to develop or move through. Keep your eye on Chicago there, because that's where the active weather may set up early Friday morning, and then again on Saturday, maybe some storms up there in the UP of Michigan. But you know, if we're looking at Chicago and the UP of Michigan for storms, there's nothing going on here. The European model is advertising a cold front perhaps by late Monday, early Tuesday, that would sag in here and maybe interact with that hot, humid air to give us some showers and thunderstorms. But again, that's not a lead pipe cinch here. We still have to get through several days of weather, and sometimes, a lot of times, especially in August, September, those cold fronts never make it. They fizzle out. Tonight, down to 68 degrees. We have kind of overcast, partly cloudy skies And then tomorrow, 91, just like today, partly to mostly sunny. 7-day forecast, a lot of the same with better chances for rain coming up early next week. The longer range, we're going to keep those temperatures above normal. Again, the normal is about 89, so this represents temperatures in the low 90s. Not a huge upgrade, but a bit of one. And also our precip outlook is still slightly higher than the norm. All right, we got a pet pick for you tonight. A 2-for-1 here on Wednesday night. Amy Hilliard sends in Oscar Mayer, this one. I think that's a wiener dog. I figured out the thing there the other day, one of those long-haired dachshunds. And then over here we have Moesha. So thank you for your pet picks. Of course, you can submit pet picks over on 14news.com there in the pet picks section. So I appreciate those. All right, let's see who has questions, comments, something on your mind tonight. Jeanette Rice says, good evening. Cheyenne Hammonds, good evening. Good evening to all of you. Fernando Malachowski says, yeah, everybody's ready for Friday. All right. And we got Doris and Don Dukes in there, too. A lot of new names here tonight. William Raleigh had a trace. I think he's still in Port Huron, but like a few drops, ground's getting dry, got to water the flowers now. He must be home, because we did have a few little drops earlier today. Okay, not too many comments or questions in there, so we'll zip right on over here to the Science Corner. And actually, we've kind of carved out this time again tonight to check out the tropics situation. You know, we are getting into August, September. Those tend to be the active hurricane and tropical storm months. And right now, the only thing I can show you is Dexter kind of retreating or moving away out into the Atlantic Ocean. We have another region down here of kind of disturbed weather off of the Carolinas, which may turn into something a little later on. And the intertropical convergence zone, or that area here along and north of the equator off of Africa. This is the west coast of Africa, where most hurricane storms, or the storm part of it, originates, and then they move off and into the trade winds here. We are seeing a little more activity there in that band. Now, nothing really tightening up into like a tropical system yet, but at least we have the makings there potentially for that. The Gulf is quiet this evening as well. And looking at our names, of course, we used Dexter, so the next named storm will be Aaron, and then after that we have Fernand and Gabrielle coming up, if we get that far. Dexter expected to move on out into the North Atlantic and out of our hair and out of the way. And the other areas being watched now for potential development here over the coming 4 to 5 days include the area off of the central Atlantic coast, so the Delmarva Peninsula, the Chesapeake, all the way up to New Hampshire, Long Island Sound here, New York, and Boston. And then the usual area out here, a moderate chance for development, again, over the next 5 days or so. And we'll show you one more map here. And as I showed you a moment ago, quite a few storms kind of training off of Africa and moving into the intertropical convergence zone, which is where we get most of our hurricanes started. And then they can either go on the Gulf, or they can go down this way, or sometimes they turn and follow the Gulf Stream up the eastern coast of the U.S. Typically, we hit the peak of the hurricane tropical storm system season, around September the 10th, sometime there in that first or second week. Here's where we are right now. So we are just starting to get into that time of the year where we need to keep a closer eye on the tropics, which is exactly what we'll be doing here. Thanks so much for watching. You stay safe. Have a great night. I'll see you on 14 News at 10.